Sorry about that. You know how the technology is sometimes. Somehow I'm not seeing comments appearing, so I'm not sure who is here, but thank you all as usual for coming to hang out with me Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Every time you see that, hey, Sarah inside. Rich, good evening, Jen, all on the live. Thank you, darling. So I know my peeps here, right? Thank you all so much again for always coming to hang out with me. Hi, Augusto. It's always a pleasure to be here doing what I do. You all make it worth it, right? I said, declared, I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my leaders, my teachers, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. And I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. And I do love my country, and I know you all love your country also. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Andrew. So we start this thing one time, people. They not no steam, boy. They not no steam. Everything flat, flat, flat. Not fat, flat. So we just have a little, we just always have a little nice news. And then, hi, Rebecca. So this was in the Guardian. I'm just waiting for it to load. 19 hours ago, Tobago's top SCA performer credits discipline and play for her success. So 11-year-old say Shelley Duncan didn't expect to be the top SCA performer in Tobago. She said she was only trying to do well. I felt shocked, surprised, and elated the fact that I had just topped SCA Tobago, she said calmly, seated between her proud parents Dexter Duncan and Leslie Norrie Duncan in the family Signal Hills home. The Signal Hill Government Primary School people placed first in Tobago. The whole story just jumped. Placed first in Tobago Secondary Entrance Assessment, SEA, examination. Her success, her parents said yesterday, is the product of early structure, daily review, and support, but also freedom. Freedom to play, to create, to breathe. Every day when she gets home, we will give her time to play, to eat, and settle herself. And then we had fixed times that we will start her review, her mother, Leslie Norrie Duncan, explained. It's the rhythm. They started from infancy and one they kept right up to standard 3. After that, her parents said Shelley didn't need reminders. Studying had become a habit, but it was never her whole world. Her father, Dexter Duncan, said balance was key. Balance caused us to realize that she cannot always be involved in academics. She needed, outlets. So we had it amongst ourselves, my wife and I. We took it upon ourselves to go hiking about the country, he said. Outside of classroom and corrections, says Shelley is an artist with a fast hand in full imitation. Fast hand and a full imagination. Given a blank paper, she completed a live sketch in 5 minutes during the interview with Guardian Media. She is also a steel band player. For her, music isn't a distraction from school. It's part of how she plays or how she stays grounded. My hobbies are mainly playing the national instrument, playing games with friends, she said with a soft smile. But her journey to first place didn't come by talent alone. Her parents, both deeply involved in her daily routine, said discipline was modeled and nurtured, not forced. They started each day with devotion and taught her to learn or to lean on faith during stressful moments. We worked hard and we trust God. And it's good to know that Sis Shelley is of, of like mind where that is concerned, her father said. Oh, I'm humbled. I'm proud to the point of being humbled. For her part, says Shelley, sees the next challenge as just another chapter in a well balanced life. She's headed to Bishop's High School and already she has her sights set on studying medicine. I want to become a medical surgeon when I get older, she said. When asked why, her answer was simple so I can help people. So if I see a picture here of Giselle and her family. So congratulations the parents and the Duncan family and also to Giselle. And we see that discipline is not a bad thing. Yeah, it is not. It can be tempered with also not just academics, but other outlets. And she did mention the steel pan is not just a distraction, it is a part of the whole holistic outlook of her. Yes, so congratulations dear to Sis Shelley in Tobago, topping the C exams and going to Bishops. That's the school of, I think, Prime Minister and so many other scholars from Tobago went to that school. So I'm seeing here, you all remember the whole thing with the merit points and the demerit points and all that. So they are now saying, because I think people felt they're going to do away with everything. You could do what we want on the road again, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm seeing this saying, hi, Listra. This again was in the Guardian. Most demerit points to be scrapped, but criminal driving offences remain. No, only a sense, I thought only triple. Demerit points for the majority of traffic violations in Trinidad and Tobago will soon be scrapped, but penalties will remain for 6 criminal driving offences, including driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Transport Minister Eliza Kerr made the announcement following yesterday's cabinet meeting, where government approved amendment to the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act 48.509 Schedule Order 2025. This is just my belief. I think anything the PNM would have done, they just come in to just not do it and get rid of it. That is all it's about. I don't think it has to do with any genuine, in my opinion, any genuine reason as the country at heart or anything like that. It's just simply to try to erase all that the PNM would have done to show that them is the kind of government and the softer one and they love the people. But they fired about 20,000 workers. They didn't even make 3 months in office yet. Speaking at a post-cabinet media briefing at the Red House, Zakoro said there was currently 99 violations under the Act, 69 of which carry demerit points, 63 for non-criminal violation and 6 for criminal offences. The new order will now remove the demerit points from all but a few offences. I will be signing the order shortly, Zakoro told reporters. Once signed, the amended schedule will delete demerit points for all but 3 violations, item 6, 23 and 227. Although Zakoro did not specify which offences these items presented. They never given you the whole story. He confirmed, however, that 6 criminal offences that currently carry demerit points will remain in force. These are driving while disqualified from holding or obtaining a driving permit, driving while under the influence of drugs, driving or being in charge of a vehicle with a blood alcohol level exceeding the limit, failure to provide a specimen of breath of blood or blood, failing to submit to a breathalyzer, and careless driving, Zakoro said. As for drivers who were previously charged or penalized based on accrued demerit points, Zakoro said the government is still deliberating on how to deal with those cases. In addition, Zakoro announced upcoming changes to Regulation 27 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Regulation to expand the scope of the vehicle inspection framework. He said the changes are expected to immediately reduce the licensing division annual inspection load by nearly 50,000 vehicles. Currently, private vehicles over 5 years old must be inspected at authorized testing stations. then re-inspected every 2 years thereafter. Vehicles over 3 tons and commercial vehicles, including those with THR registration, must be inspected annually at the Licensing Division, Caroni Compound. The new amendment will allow licensed vehicles testing stations to inspect public hire vehicles such as taxis, hire cars, and other licenses for hire. Additionally, VIMCOT examiners will be authorized to inspect all taxis regardless of weight and all goods vehicles over 3,200 kilograms. Zakharov said discussions are still ongoing regarding how to regulate PH private for hire taxis under the new framework. Again, I don't think them doing anything because it's about helping the people of this country. Anything is just simply whatever PNM had put, they just removing it. Hi Donna, hi Lestra, hi Rosalind, and all those who are locked on and tuning on Bounce Up Central. Mr. Gibson and the whole crew, Sedina, everybody. So listen, Martin George, a lawyer from Tobago, and he's also something in the Tobago Chamber House or something. He was, I think, charged for sexual assault. He's on bail, I think it is. He was arrested, he's on bail. I saw him do a live or some press conference with a beautiful lady at his side saying his fiancé. And this is just me. I'm wondering why. If you have been accused of XYZ place, to go to treat with it, whether here or near, is the courthouse. Why do we need to have a live to come and put this lady, this woman, through this at your side and telling people it's your fiancé? I don't think people wanted to know what that has to do with anything. I'm just asking a question. Is it, I am not saying, I am not pronouncing on Mr. George's innocent or guilt. I am commenting on a video that I saw where he had a beautiful lady at his side and said that's his fiancé. I think he even went on to say he has daughters or something that effect. So I'm just asking this. If you are accused of a crime, you have been arrested for that crime, you're on bail for that crime. I'm not saying that you did the crime, but so there has to be court appearances. What is the purpose of making a video to come to tell people what? Is it that you're saying that people who have fiancés or have children or who may be married cannot carry out heinous acts? I'm just asking. So I don't see the point in it. Probably there's a point, but I don't see it. Anyways, it is what it is. I didn't know that the pre-qualifier to whether or not you commit a crime or not is how you look. But again, in Trinidad and Tobago, it is if you're black, you look like me, then the chances are they say you commit some crime. Especially if you're a male. Urban East-West Corridor. So I'm seeing here 14 hours ago Newsdays, lawyers want police to probe leak info in Martin George case. One attorney is calling on the police to investigate the leaking of confidential information related to the state's evidence against attorney Martin George, who had been charged with grievous sexual misconduct and indecent assault against a young female attorney. Saria Lacan, president of the Assembly of Southern Lawyers, speaking in her personal capacity, issued a statement on July the 10th condemning the leaking of the confidential information, which names the alleged victim and reveals sordid details of the alleged offense. The leaked information has been widely shared on lawyers' chats, and colleagues of the victim have been exposed to explicit details of the alleged offense. Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of Intelligence and Investigation, Susan Martin, said the Cybercrime Unit was investigating the source of the leak. Police said a summary of the state's evidence and charge documents was also shared with the accused. In a statement, Lacan, a senior ordinary member of the Law Association, said she was moved to comment on the development after George appeared in court on July the 9th. She said the leaking of the information was a gross violation of the alleged victim's privacy and dignity and an affront to the integrity of the justice system. There must be consequences for those responsible for this breach, she said, adding that survivors of sexual violence face secondary harm through irresponsible and unethical social media exposure. Lacan said the decision by the accused to host a press conference on July the 10th to announce his engagement and future wedding was equally shocking as it was an illogical and insensitive decision. Rather than show respect for the seriousness of the matter, this was treated as an opportunity for cheap publicity, with light remarks made about his fiancée, who was left to face the media alone, she said. Lacan said the indecent exposure, a wider systemic issue, sexual harassment and abuse of power in professional environments, including law offices, public bodies, and private enterprises, particularly where power imbalances are involved in a work-related environment. There is an urgent need for robust national policies, regardless of sector, stronger legal protection, and enforceable workplace standards to address harassment and protect employees, and ensure accountability at all levels, regardless of status or seniority, Lacan said. She said the matter was not merely about one allegation or one law firm, but rather about the culture we tolerate and the systems we fail to reform. Survivors deserve more than silence or spectacle, they deserve justice. And people, I did not read this article before. I'm now reading this article, and it expressed some of the sentiments that I would have expressed. Why do a press conference? Why? So let me continue. So I'm seeing here, hi Joanne, hi Myrtle.
Newsflash.
What is this? Okay. Let me just slow down this to make sure when it opens up again, I don't get that crap. What is this? Just give me a minute. Let me get this article. So, let me see if I can get this article. It's about the CEO. Let's see if I can get it here. I thought I would have opened the thing. Well, just give me a minute. It has to do with, I think it's the CEO of Heritage. Hey. Right. Okay, so I'm getting it from the source. Hi, Judy. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Wayne. Wanda. You think UNC helping you? I don't know what I mean. Helping who? Me? I don't know UNC help. If it's me. Guardian Heritage Petroleum CEO resigns. This was 11 hours ago. And it says that Chief Executive Officer of state-owned oil producer, Heritage Petroleum Company, Eric Keskula, has resigned to take up a job offer at an international company. Heritage confirmed his resignation via a news release Wednesday. He was selected as CEO in June 2023 to run the oil company. In his resignation letter, which was dated June 30th and submitted to Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal, Keskula stated, after considerable thought and reflection, I am formally resigning from my position as CEO of Heritage Petroleum Company Limited, effective September 30th, providing 3 months' notice aligned to my contract. He said, leading the company has been one of the greatest professional honors of his career. After more than 2 years, I have had the privilege to lead and work alongside a dedicated team committed to driving growth, innovation, and sustainability in the energy sector, all for the good of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Together, we have risen above many challenges, achieved new milestones, and built a strong foundation for growth and transformation. This decision did not come lightly. It stems from my desire to pursue new professional challenges in the energy sector. Please be assured that I will do everything I can to ensure a smooth handover within the months ahead, he stated. The letter further stated that he remained optimistic about Heritage's future and will continue to support the company in any way possible. Keskula told Guardian Media by WhatsApp, I enjoy my time at Heritage and the opportunity to help grow the business to the benefit of the people of the country. In the past few months, I was offered another position in the energy sector, and it was an opportunity that was too good to turn down. I remain committed to supporting the company and the government in a smooth transition to another CEO. In a memo to staff, Keskula said, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the leadership team, that extended leadership team, the extended leadership team and the staff of Heritage for your unwavering commitment and excellence. Your dedication has been instrumental in our achievement. To all staff members, thank you for your cooperation and support. The memories we have created together will be cherished for years to come. Keskula is a graduate of the Colorado School of Mines. He is a geophysicist who spent 25 years at the American energy multinational ConocoPhillips, working in varying capacity along the globe before he left the company in 2022. On Monday, a new Heritage Board was given its instrument of appointment by Energy Minister Dr. Rudolph Milan. The chairman is Kurt Ramlan, a former Chief Executive Officer of Urban Development Corporation, TT, and the directors are Khalid Hassan Ali, Lincoln Dukaran, Ronnie Sukdio, Richard Hansraj, and Kamani Ramraj. How that whole board sounding like Little India, so I just asked them. In delivering remarks, Minister Rudolph Milan emphasized the critical role heritage, petroleum, and biofuel trading played in the national energy landscape and reminded the members of the mandate issued by Prime Minister Kamala Persad for the country to re-emerge as the energy hub of the Caribbean. This is my opinion. I have no opinion here. This man, who was the CEO who leaving, when he must see who they know as energy minister and will come in, he say, see me, before my good name go down the drain after I work so hard, let me get out it. That is my opinion. Mister, if that is your opinion based on that, you're damn right. I just said. You're damn right. If that is what it is. So I am seeing here, hi Joycelyn. Perenco completes acquisition now among top 3 oil and gas producers. This was 6 hours ago, July 11, Daily Express. Energy firm Perenco has finalized the acquisition of the Greater Angostura oil and gas asset from Woodside Energy, significantly expanding its operation and production footprint in Trinidad and Tobago. The deal completed on July 11th includes 2 Woodside Energy entities, operationship of the 2C and 3A production sharing contracts, and related offshore and onshore infrastructure. The Greater Angostura fields currently produce approximately 300 million standard cubic feet per day. It's MMSCFD, or 50,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, BOEPD, roughly 12% of the country's total gas output. This acquisition, combined with Perenco's existing Teak, Samai and Pui, and Kashima, Amherstura, Flamboyant, Immortel fields, all those are fields, raise the company gross production above 100,000, and that is BOEPD. That is the acronym for, just now, where's the acronym for that, boy? Oh gosh, oh dear. I don't remember what it already, that is right. I can't find anything now. The acquisition combined with Perenco's existing, right, I read that, making it one of the top 3 producers in Trinidad and Tobago. This milestone will increase our gross production levels in excess of 100,000 BOEPD and allows us to further strengthen our partnership with the government of Trinidad and Tobago, said Amel Sind Nondin, CEO of Perenco. We are confident our skills in management, mature assets will ensure long-term output from the Angostura field. Perenco has operated in Trinidad and Tobago since 2016, when it assumed control of the TSP fields. Its approach has focused on modernizing operation, increasing gas output, and extending the productive life of mature marginal reservoirs. Right? In late 2024, the company expanded its assets by acquiring BP's CAFI assets, and in 2025, it successfully drilled and sidetracked a new well in the Onyx field, part of its TSP acreage. Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Dr. Ruben Munilal, welcomed the acquisition, stated, "I wish to congratulate Perenco on this acquisition and look forward to working with them to increase the production from all the acreages and assets under their control." The government says Perenco expansion reflects strong investor confidence in Trinidad and Tobago offshore oil and gas sector, supported by robust infrastructure, skilled energy partners, and LNG capabilities. Perenco's total gross production in Trinidad and Tobago now includes more than 500,000 MMSCFD of gas and 10,000 barrels of oil per day, positioning it as a critical player in the country's energy landscape. Let me tell you how the UNC cantankerous and very disingenuous. See what they say. The government says Perenco expansion reflects strong investor confidence in Trinidad and Tobago offshore and gas sector, supported by robust infrastructure, skilled energy partners, and energy export. And them say this country ain't making money, no investment coming, nobody want to invest, say the country poor, the country suffering, Dr. Rowley destroyed the economy, Stuart Young destroyed the economy, Dr. Rowley destroyed the economy. So how come they could now be saying after, it's even 3 months yet, that they're so happy that Perenco come and buy out Woodside. And that is happening because the country has a strong investor confidence. It got this strong investor confidence from Stuart Young and from Dr. Keith Christopher Roddy and the PNM, who set up this place in a way that investors want to come into the gas and oil industry. Nothing to do with Dr. Rudan Munilal, who now only taking pictures all over and dressing and liking himself. He ain't do nothing. And to show how he ain't do nothing and he just fronted, that is my opinion, I given based on the information that's in front of me here. Just now. Just now. Just fronting. All them things was under Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And Minister Stuart Young, who's the Minister of Energy, one of the best negotiators. But right now, me and it looked to me like they're joining with this one team PNM thing. That's my opinion. That in the UNC. To kind of drag Minister Stuart Young. Everything now in the energy sector. In my opinion, Dr. Munilal, that is not his expertise. Oil and gas is not his expertise. I think he has his PhD, if I'm not mistaken, in social studies. I could be wrong, yeah? But I know he do some social studies and something with labor, something to the effect. But I don't think it have anywhere that speaks about oil and gas, or geochemistry, or geophysicists, or nothing like that. I say, in my opinion, Kamala Pasabi like she put it to embarrass you. I don't know. But anyways. So I'll come to show you how in the energy sector, how Dr. Rudan Munilal only fronting on things that was put on there. So the PNM, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, Stuart Young, Minister of Energy, lay track, and Guti running on it because people went and was telling people don't vote for the PNM. And people say they're voting because they vex with Rowley and Rowley get increase in salary and all that and all kind of thing. So track was laid, and we won all that. Track was laid, so now the Guti and them lining up on it like them do something and they didn't do nothing. So this is a new thing they're coming with for Minister Stuart Young now. Munilal orders probe into billion dollar era. Energy deal sealed under Young 13 hours ago in the Daily Express. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal said yesterday an error that could have cost this country some $7 billion in revenue was discovered by a contractor in a deal sealed under former Energy Minister Stuart Young and approved by the previous cabinet. Let me tell you how this song in like is a kind of thing. I'll tell you why. Kevin Ramnarayan, the failed energy minister in the PP government, he's now on the committee to look at the restructuring of Petrotrin. He would have made a deal that cost this government US 900 something million dollars with the Japanese. I will come to that story just now. And it was because of Minister Stuart Young and Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley who went up to Japan that stopped this country from having to pay back all that money one time, or else he might have to go to the IMF. So here, this story. That why to me this song like a story, right? Munilal said the government yesterday moved with haste in the nick of time via cabinet note to fix the mistake in the contract and earn Trinidad and Tobago over US $1 billion during the life of the contract. Speaking at a post-cabinet news conference at the Red House, Port of Spain, Munilal said he has ordered a full investigation into the error. The minister said he also asked to be informed as to Young's direct participation in the contract. Munilal said the contract was approved in January 2025, noting the general election took place in April 2025. This is the same Dr. Munilal who said back in 2015, when contracts were given out to CPAP contractors on the same day of the election and days before the election, nothing is wrong in that, it's a working day. So what if contracts were signed in the year 2025, year for election, based on what you say? Where's the problem? Let me continue. He said the agreement between the Ministry of Energy, Woodside Energy, and BPTT was approved by a cabinet, which then also included opposition leader Penelope Beckles. Connections or not? The contract would have been awarded to Woodside over the years, he said, and the intention of this particular contract would have been that the company entered into discussion to develop a particular block. Munilal said it was only discovered in April 2025 that the note taken to the then cabinet contained a detrimental matrix on costing and profit returns to the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Munilal said the then cabinet would have approved and confirmed a note that reduced the government's share of the profits by between 20 to 30%. He said the country stood to lose around $6.7 billion in revenue as a result of the note and is seeking a full investigation into the error and miscalculation. Contractor noticed. Munilal told reporters that the preliminary explanation given to him was that it was a mistake. He said the error was picked up by the contractor, Woodside, which was outside of the ministry. He said the cabinet action yesterday to amend the error had followed discussion with the relevant stakeholders, resulting in a 10% profit increase and 20% at the highest end. Munilal called the revenue that was received extremely significant. He addressed critics who have questioned where money will be found by some of the projects promised by the government. Munilal questioned how the mistake had have taken place while acknowledging that errors do take place in documents. But he stated this was not a small error. He said the mistake was effectively addressed by passing a cabinet note. Munilal went on to advise that oil production had increased to 55 million barrels per day under his government. Come now, man. While gas production has also increased. Is it an increase due to anything that you would have done, Dr. Munilal, or your government would have done, Dr. Munilal? All this stuff fronting and making people feel shoppiness now. He said Shell also intends to ramp up production in the Manatee field by 10%, which speaks well to revenue, the foreign exchange challenge, and investor confidence. Minister Stuart Young responded. Reached for comments yesterday evening, former Minister Young responded by WhatsApp saying, Minister Munilal attempts to attribute blame on me and the previous cabinet for what he has admitted is a pricing matrix error in a previous cabinet note reeks of desperation. The pricing matrix would have been prepared by the technical staff at the Ministry of Energy and vetted by the technical staff, including the permanent secretary. I do not know what other specific that is referring to, but I'm confident that it was not due to any error on the part of the cabinet or myself. Young added, I understand that Minister Munal is struggling to prove himself in his new role and is out of his depth, and he should keep the theatre out of serious business of the energy sector. It comes just like the budget. People have the assumption that is the Minister of Finance who prepared the budget. He does not. There's a whole budgetary department in the Ministry of Finance. They are the ones who do all those stuff. All those stuff. The minister don't do all those stuff. And then when they finish, it just pass to the minister and he goes straight and you ask questions and this and that, whatever it is. So this error that Dr. Mulilal say was created by some deal or some contract signed by the previous government and Minister Stuart Young. Minister Stuart Young is correct. Any calculation or any matrix and anything is not he going to be doing it. There's a whole department of technical people who will be doing that. They will get the finished product after it has been proved. That is why I keep telling people, and I used to keep telling it, the permanent secretary is the accounting minister in the ministry, not the minister. All the minister does, the minister brings policies from the cabinet to be implemented in the ministry via and to the public service. The permanent secretary is the one who has to take those directives, put it in a way that it is within the confines of all the different regulations in the public service and get the job done. Either they could or they can't. So this fishing expedition of Dr. Rural Munilal and all them who want to dig pit all who want to dig pit, I hope they have them pit diggers. I hope they have a pit dig for them too. So they did not put the whole response of MP Young in that report. So let me read the whole response. Minister Munilal attempts to attribute blame on me and the previous cabinet for what he has admitted is a pricing matrix error in a previous cabinet note, Reeks of Desperation. The pricing matrix that he refers to have been prepared by the technical staff of the Ministry of Energy and vetted by the technical staff, including the permanent secretary. I do not know what other specifics that he's referring to, but I'm confident that it was not due to any error on the part of the cabinet or myself. The pricing matrix will be a complex formula that seeks to share profit made from the gas produced at varying global gas prices after deducing or after deducting the recovery of costs and fiscal terms. This was all negotiated by the Ministry of Energy, very competent technical staff who would have prepared a cabinet note and production sharing contract. What is also pathetic is Munilal's claim that this government had recovered revenue. This is another blatant attempt to hoodwink the population, as a project which the production sharing contract refers to has not even been sanctioned. Woodside and BP have not taken a decision to produce this block. So any claim of recovered revenue is fictitious and based on conjecture. In fact, Minister Munilal should advise the country if Woodside are still purchasing the deepwater project Calypso, or if they are preparing to shut down their operation and depart Trinidad and Tobago. It is clear that Minister Munilal is struggling to prove himself in his new role and is out of his depth. He continues to grasp at straws while surviving off the work that was done previously. His claims that he would pursue gas in Grenada, Suriname, and Guyana have evaporated, and every utterance he makes about successful gas production is a result of previous work and nothing to do with him. Munilal will do well to keep the theatre out of the serious business of the energy sector. So you see, there's no money to recover because nothing has been sanctioned yet. Why these people like to lie so, boy? I am more inclined to believe MP Stuart Young than Dr. Rudal Munilan. Dr. Rudal Munilan instead to make defense for EMBD in what was termed Carter-like behavior in with the way contracts were given out. Huh? You come there in 2 months and you don't say you do this in energy sector, that when them things just take years and years and years. Well, yeah. Don't get fooled, no? Don't get fooled at all. Don't get fooled at all, at all, at all. So they come, hi Julian, hi Fox, young master Munilali is on nothing but. Well, my time you go tell them that, boy. So, as I was telling you all, Kevin Ramnarine, me even read this whole story. A 12-member committee headed by former Energy Minister Kevin Ramnarine and including former Petrotrin refinery managers and OWTU officials have been mandated to develop a strategy for the refinery reactivation and submit a report by October. Let me tell you about Kevin Ramnarine. A significant energy project between Trinidad and Tobago and Japan involved a substantial loan potentially reaching $900 million to finance the purchase of liquefied natural gas (LNG). This deal is part of Japan's effort to secure fuel for its power need, and the loan was provided by a public-private partnership, including the Japanese Bank for International Cooperation. Trinidad and Tobago, through its national gas company, also holds 20% stake in the project. The project involved a liquefied natural gas (LNG) plant in Trinidad and Tobago with a public-private partnership loan of up to $900 million from Japan. The National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago holds 20% minority shareholding in the project. Japanese involvement. The Japanese Bank for International Cooperation is providing the financing, with Mitsubishi Corporation holding a 70% stake and the Massey Group holding 10%. The government of Trinidad and Tobago provided a letter of comfort to the bank, indicating their commitment to supporting the project, but not a full guarantee. The original agreement was renegotiated to address potential financial liabilities for Trinidad and Tobago, potentially saving. This is when the government come in. So up from where I just read here, where I say the government of Trinidad and Tobago provided a letter of comfort to be banked to the bank, including their commitment to supporting the project, but not a full guarantee. All I would have read is under Kevin Ramnarine as the Minister of Energy. That is a deal he would have brokered. Let me tell you what happened. When the government came in 2015, they made that deal that they had to go and try and renegotiate as quickly as possible. So this was 2016 now. And the Guardian government signs amended deal. Minister in the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs, Stuart Young, yesterday raised red flags about the Caribbean Gas Chemical Limited CGCL deal initiated under the People's Partnership, saying it would have if allowed to go through, would have cost the country billions of dollars in losses. Stuart also revealed that former Attorney General Gavin Nicholas was pressured into signing off on the deal on Election Day, September 7, 2015. Young made a disclosure in the presence of the acting Prime Minister, Com Embert, during the post-cabinet media briefing at the Office of the Prime Minister, Sinclair. He said all the red flags in the deal will be revealed in the ministerial document, which will be released when Parliament resumes next month. In April 2015, Mitsubishi Group Japan had signed a deal with National Gas Company NGC and Massey Holdings to construct a methanol plant in Labre with an investment of $1 billion. On assuming office, Young said they were approached by a group of investors asking for the provision of an opinion of the Attorney General in the CGCL deal. When we went to find out what happened, I discovered cause for concern. When we got to the files at the AG's office, much to our dismay, we found a number of red flag items by the attorneys who had been looking at this transaction, Young said. He said the People's National Movement decided not to proceed with the deal in its current form. What had been agreed upon by the former administration was something that had the potential to expose Trinidad and Tobago to billions of US dollars in claims. One of the things we found when we went back to the records is that on September the 7th, 2015, which was actually the day of the election, we found that an unusual amount of pressure being put on the technocrats at the Ministry of the Attorney General by the politicians to sign off of the AG's opinion on the day of elections, he added. Young said following the discovery, where the whole thing gone? Young said following their discovery, the government held a conversation with Massey Group, the government of Japan, through its governmental bank, Japan Bank of International Corporation, as well as Mitsubishi Group. He said he also traveled to Japan for a 2-day visit to speak to Mitsubishi and the Japanese government. Following months of productive negotiations with the institution, Young said the PNM was able to come up with an amendment to the agreement that extracted TNT from those billion-dollar claims. Last week, Young said officials from the Mitsubishi Group came to Trinidad and Tobago to sign the amended agreement. Right, and it goes on a little more, but I'll leave it there for now. Insane. Doesn't it sound like something now that all of a sudden Dr. Moodilal wanted to conjure? So Kevin Ramnarine, who they're now going to put on the committee to go and look into, along with OWTO officials, to look into the reopening of Petrotrin. The only deal he ever made for Trinidad and Tobago would have cost this country over $900 million US. And the contract, they were forcing the technocrats, according to MP Young, who was in AG at the time. And he was the Prime Minister, I think he was, yes. They were forcing, the PP government was forcing technocrats and Gavin Nicholas and them to sign off on that on the day of the elections. So you see, when people does do certain things and encourage to and do all kind of wrongs, whatever, they just feel everybody does do the same thing. So how could you believe Dr. Uda Munila? Let me continue. Hi, Robert. So as I said, there's a committee to look into the restarting of Petrotrin or the refinery. Now, Moodilal say they get back money, billions of dollars from some contract he say was signed that would have cost this country money. Minister Young was the, MP Young was the Minister of Energy, said, it had no real money there. Nothing is sanctioned yet. It is like you're putting things in place. Nothing happened yet. Woodside could ride out. BP could say they ain't investing in nothing again. That's how the oil industry is. You make a projection, but sometimes the investors pull out of that. Or sometimes the projection that you make, it ain't come up to where it's supposed to be, or sometimes a little more. So where they getting money to reopen this refinery now? Where they getting money from? They're still owing public officers a recurring expenditure of starting a negotiation from a 10%. You know, billions of dollars that will be recurring expenditure every month for the public service. Where they get money from? And all you think they're promising people, where they get money from? Look now. Well, games, yes. But we ask you all who you want to answer the phone. April the 29th. Who wanted to hear Minister Siotong? They went out and voted for the People's National Movement. Who ain't go out is who get chained up not to go and vote, and who say they vex. And they vex, right? So this now is another thing he fronting in again. PM1, why PM1? Somebody said PM1 looking in the middle like a panty shield. I didn't say so. I will never be that disrespectful. But look in the middle there. You see that the V shape like a underwear, the V and the person, the thing in the middle there? Yeah. Somebody I see put up that sign and say, oh God, Trinidadians say easy with them out, you know. They say, oh, you got like a panty shield in the middle there, so. And so, God, now how they can say that? That too disrespectful. I didn't say nothing like that. Come now, man. Do better than that. So this was in July the 10th. Government Minister stop Brecon Castle Solar Farm. All of them, that would tell you track lay and they're running, them booty running, and they had nothing to do with nothing. I go show all you how they didn't have nothing to do with nothing. So Brecon Castle Solar Limited, a joint venture between BP Shell and a subsidiary of the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago, today hosted a key event at its project site in Couva, welcoming senior government officials and stakeholders to witness the significant progress on the nation's largest renewable energy development. The event saw the attendance of several prominent figures, including Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Dr. Rudal Munilal, Minister of Public Utilities and Member of Parliament for Couva South, Barry Padarat, Minister of Housing, David Lee, Minister in the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, Ernesto Cesar, and Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Clyde Elder, the collateral damage man. They were joined by other government officials, invited dignitaries, and executive and representatives from the joint venture shareholders. The program commenced with a comprehensive project briefing outlining the substantial strides made in the development of Brecon Castle facilities. This was followed by a guided bus tour to the expansive solar farm, offering guests a first-hand view of the ongoing installation of the thousands of solar photovoltaic panels across the site. The sheer scale of the project and the meticulous work being undertaken were evident to all attendees, a BPTT statement said. Once fully operational, the Brecon Castle Solar Farm is poised to mark a pivotal moment in Trinidad and Tobago's energy landscape. It represents the country's most significant renewable energy initiative to date, playing a crucial role in the diversifying of the nation's energy mix, substantially lowering carbon emission and delivering cleaner, more sustainable energy to the national grid. The project is a testament of Trinidad and Tobago's commitment to a greener future and energy security. So you see what them pose up there, they had nothing to do with that. They didn't have one shit to do with that. Timely reminder, Ministers MP Stuart Young. The agreement made to Project Lara, the largest solar power project in CARICOM, is a reality where executed on December 2022. Let me read it again. The agreement to make Project Lara the largest solar power project in the Caribbean, in the CARICOM, is a reality were executed on December 2022 or 2022 after extensive negotiations, and we turned the stud to construct it in 2023. Startup projected for 2025. So this is MP Stuart Young writing here in 2022. Another historic milestone for TNT as we signed the agreement to proceed with Project Lara, the solar PV project that will produce 112.2 MW of electricity. This is the largest solar project in the English-speaking CARICOM region. This renewable energy project will go some way towards the fulfillment of our obligation to reduce harmful GHGs. It will also reduce our natural gas consumption in electricity production, and it has the potential to provide feedstock for the production of green hydrogen. Trinidad and Tobago will continue to incorporate renewable energy sources into our grid. This is a significant step in the right direction for us. I thank all those who have made this project a reality, the hard-working staff of the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, the Ministry of Public Utilities, TNTEC, the government's TN Committee, BPTT Shell, TT, and Light Source. So this was it here, Minister Young. So it has nothing to do with Dr. Rudal Munilal, PM2, Padarat, and the UNC government. It has everything to do with the People's National Movement, Minister Stuart Young and Minister of Energy at the time, and Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley as Prime Minister. Don't let them fool all you. Look, the PNM turning the sun here. This was in 2023 now. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley officially turned the sun for the construction of a utility-scale solar plant at Brecon Castle today, Wednesday, the 12th April 2023. Vice President, Gas and Low Carbon Energy, BP Mrs. Anja Isabel Tezenat, joined Dr. Rowley at the sun-turning ceremony. The plant is a joint venture between BP Alternative Energy, Trinidad and Tobago, and Shell Renewable Caribbean. On completion, the 92 megawatt solar site is set to be the largest solar energy producer in the Caribbean. It is also expected to lower our carbon dioxide emission by 150,000 tons annually and reduce Trinidad's power generation gas demand, which will allow for the sale of this gas to LNG and petrochemical markets. In July 2019, BP, Shell, and Lightsource BP formed a consortium and submitted a proposal in response to the government's request for proposal to build, own, operate, and supply up to 130 MW of renewable power to Trinidad and Tobago National Grid. The solar park will help Trinidad and Tobago achieve its Paris Accord commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emission in the power generation sector by 30% by 2030. Also in attendance at today's event were the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, Minister of Public Utilities, the Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, Senior Vice President and Country's Chair of Shell Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Eugene Oper, Executive President, BP Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. David Campbell. Look, everything right here. So don't let Munilad and all them fool all you. Them has nothing to do with that Brecon Castle and the plant. Yeah, that is PNM, PNM, PNM. So let me continue here quickly. I want to get to something. This individual here, he's a columnist now. I'm not sure who is he. But this is what he would have said. Hi, Anne-Marie. Excuse me. So this was July the 8th, 2023. It's Jarrell de Matas. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read a little piece because I'm just showing you how they don't do the research, or they refuse to do the research, or they deliberately don't do the research. Judging by the prompt and ceremony nationwide closures of school and government offices and gridlock traffic, all for Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi official visit from July the 3rd to the 4th, it's safe to say we are caught up in Modi mania. We, or people are Hindu people of Indian descent, because that was not a national event. When former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley paraded through Port of Spain on Emancipation Day with Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, the Ghanaian king of Ashanti in 2023, it appeared more comical than politically significant. With all due respect to His Majesty, if by some bizarre occurrence he stumbles upon this column, beyond the undeniable ancestral significance shared in both cases, Modi's visit is exponentially more meaningful than that of royalty. For this reason, and because India is a founding member of BRIC, Brazil, Russia, and India, China, South America organization, a powerful group of world-leading emerging markets economies, it makes sense to roll out the red carpet, which we literally did for Modi. I want to tell this person who look like there's an Indian descent, you're too blasted, disrespectful, and racial, like what I saying. An African king come here on your own jet, and you say he walking in the street was comical. It was comical. You see what it does? Disrespect people of African descent, but some people of African descent have put themselves in the space for them to feel like a tell all African them thing. Who the ass is you? What's your name? Jarrell de Matas, however, to talk about when the king from Ghana, Shanti, come here, that he walking through the street, it was some comical? Comical? No, you blasted place. Let me read this to you. Trinidad and Tobago has benefited from the Ashanti's visit, particularly in terms of strengthening trade and investment ties between the two countries. A recent trade mission from Trinidad and Tobago to Ghana, which included a meeting with the King of the Ashanti Kingdom, Otumfuo Tutu II, highlighted potential areas for collaboration and investment. The visit facilitated discussions on trade, exploring opportunities for exporting Trinidad and Tobago finished goods and services to Ghana and sourcing inputs from Ghana. Examining potential for foreign direct investment, both inward and outward between the two nations. Bilateral agreements. Favorable discussion took place around the conclusion of a bilateral investment treaty, BIT. The visit is part of a broader effort to create attractive and competitive free zone incentives in Ghana to promote economic development, potentially benefiting Trinidad and Tobago as well. The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association described the mission as very fruitful, with great potential for the business community in Trinidad and Tobago. TNT Trade Mission to Ghana connected. Just a minute. You see how they're disrespectful? You see how they're disrespectful? When the king, the African king, come here with your own jet, because when we say we come from kings and queens, they're laughing and skinning and grinning. He come here with your own private jet. It had red carpet for you too. And he bring investment. It had a whole team. Went up to Ghana. They treated us. Ask Obika. Mr. Obika. About African trade. But this little pipsqueak want to talk about, it was almost comical, and it was worth it to roll out carpet for Prime Minister Modi. All they make Prime Minister Modi event an Indian event and a Hindu event. It wasn't a national event, so that wasn't successful. We only get 2,000 laptops. Because everything else I talk about, that would have been talked with Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley when he and Prime Minister Narendra Modi would have met and would have spoken in bilateral talks. And I'm sure the PNM was in office when Prime Minister Modi come, it would be a national event where all races could go and celebrate and shake hands and clap and all kind of thing. It would not be an Indian Hindu event. But again, they like to play, they want to drag down people of African descent, and somehow all it is just sit down and allow it. And but don't say nothing now. Don't say nothing. Number continues. Who's that? Number continues. So I'm seeing the bad mind thing like it starts. Somebody send us some from News Source page. It said, News Source has just learned that the current government is delaying the opening of the central block of the Port-au-Prince General Hospital. Patients are being turned away and have been told the Couva Hospital takes precedence. The new operational date of the central block hangs in balance. You all remember, in March of 2025, the Ministry of Health marked the practical completion of the construction of the new central block of the Port-au-Prince General Hospital. This milestone is not just about the physical infrastructure, but about the transformation of our entire healthcare system, ensuring that patient-centered, data-driven, and technology-enabled healthcare becomes a reality for all citizens. The new central block, with a bed capacity of 540 patients, will be available to the public by July 2025. I hear they're turning away people from the hospital because they're not opening this new hospital that was built under Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. They're going to leave it there, it is said. It is alleged they're going to leave it there and focus on Couva, so that people will suffer. And with the people will suffer again, the African people in the East West Corridor, because somehow they feel it's only African people that's getting sick. Just how they suffer 10,500 CPAP workers, where they tell themselves, in my opinion, all of them is African people, poor struggling people who don't support the PNM. So they come to punish, in my opinion, they come to punish African people for keeping them out of the treasury for 10 years. So that big hospital there, that bill there, that could have 540 patients, not that we encouraging people to get sick. But people, instead of they turning them away and the Bacchanal that had in Tobago could have been housed in that new way. It's radiating opening. And are they contented with that? Are they happy with that when they focus on Cuba? So if you're in Tong, in a scene, you have to leave from here to go quite Cuba whenever they finish Cuba, and a big hospital long with 540 beds, with all kind of new technology and new services and all them kind of thing. Well, it's so wicked, boy. But again, all the wicked to all yourself too. So let me continue. I want to read this quick for you. Well, you know the story of Saul, most people know it. So I'm just going to read the moral of the story of Saul. So they said the moral of the story of King Saul revolves around the dangers of disobedience to God and the corrupting influence of pride and jealousy. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of prioritizing personal ambition and ego over divine guidance. Saul's disobedience to God's commands, particularly in the matter of the Amalekites, led to his rejection as king. This highlights the importance of unwavering obedience to the will of God. Saul's pride and self-deception blinded him to his flaws and led him to believe that he knew better than God. This ultimately led to his downfall. Saul's jealousy of David, fueled by pride and insecurity, led him to make destructive decisions and ultimately lose God's favor. The story emphasizes the need for humility, especially in positions of power, and the importance of relying on God's guidance rather than personal ambition. Saul's experience demonstrates how power can corrupt, leading individuals to prioritize their own self-desires over God's will and the well-being of others. Saul's impatience and lack of respect for Samuel's authority highlight the importance of patience and respecting the boundaries of leadership. Saul's story offers valuable lessons for modern-day leaders, emphasizing the importance of humility, obedience, and reliance on God's guidance. Saul's life was also marked by fear, which led to poor leadership and a sad spiritual life. This highlights the importance of trusting in God's faithfulness rather than succumbing to fear. There's this word, sometimes I just pronounce it good, sometimes I just pronounce it all no. Only give me a minute. You know, me doesn't business sometimes. Mediocrity. Mediocrity. And it means the quality of being average or ordinary. A person is not very good at something or not very good at anything in particular or something that is not very good. These people are just mediocreites. Mediocrity. Just take a listen to this. It's not my words. Let me see. Give me a minute. What's going on with this thing now? I'm trying to get a video and all kind of other TikTok coming up instead. Oh Lord, Father. Well, give me a minute there, please. Give me a minute, please. Sometimes when these things happen, it's probably ain't supposed to play it. Let's see if I get it here. No, I'm getting it. So, I'll just say. Again, I just want to, you see, people don't want you talking about the PNM people. Them who are the supporters of Mrs. Penelope because the opposition leader and political leader. Nothing wrong in that. You're free to support who you want to support. But I want to ask them, If they were to sit down in the quiet moment, forget all the other one personally and who ambition to be this and who want to be this and who feel they go get this. Forget that for a minute. Be selfless and patriotic for a couple minutes. Think about the children. Think about Trinidad and Tobago. Think at where we at with a UNC in office. And sit down and think within yourself and ask yourself if you think that this PNM it have, this one team, this one love, whatever it is the best thing for PNM right now to get back PNM into office. Ask yourself if the leadership of this particular PNM could take the PNM into victory. Be truthful about it. Forget Jenny and what Jenny does say and forget. Think about it. Strip away everything. Whether you like her or you don't like she, mommy, your auntie, your nene. Forget all that for now. Let's think logically about this thing as objectively as we can. Do you all seriously think that the present opposition leader and political leader could take this PNM who are 13 strong into governance? Do you all believe that this PNM, under the leadership of the opposition leader and political leader, commands the respect of all 12 members of parliament? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking this. You all want us, people who don't support her, and politically, not in no other way, all they want us to say what all they're saying, agree with what all they're agreeing and want to agree with. We should not voice our opinion. We should go along with all you. And don't have a problem with what we say. I want to ask all you something. Why would somebody want to be a leader of a party and a country, which is a democratic country? We'll have a meeting. There are 13 members of parliament who won the seats. And in order to get an opposition leader, those who won the seats and he wants to make a decision who they're going to support, who commands the support. But you had a meeting with just 6 out of 13. You make it 13, so you just say 12. You had a meeting with just 12 members of parliament who won the seat. And you make it 7. And all you voted amongst all yourselves for Mrs. Penelope Beckers-Robinson to become the opposition leader. The other 6, I understand, only found out about that in the media. Was that right? Is that how you want to start off your leadership in the People's National Movement? To have that hanging over you? Not only that, you all continue to have meetings and have all kinds of things, and there are a couple of members of parliament, all they don't tell anything. All is supposed to be a team. All they don't even mention Dominic Romaine. All they don't even mention Stuart Young. All they don't even mention Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis. That is part of the 13 who win the seat. And people who win the seat always mention them more and they're always on TV. But all I want people to support that and have nothing to say. When the PNM was 33-3, it had a strong leader. When the PNM was 29-12, there was also a strong leader. And all of them are not the same, but strength, everybody had their own strength. Mr. Manning had his own strength. Dr. Rowley had his own strength. Mr. Manning may not have been as vocal as Dr. Rowley, and his style may not have been that assertive. Well, let's want to say aggressive. I ain't saying aggressive. More forthright, more to the point. Dr. Rowley was more direct, more blunt in his approach, but he was a leader. So was Mr. Manning. I want Ola to tell me, I'm talking to Ola today Friday, Or I want Ola to tell me because people want us to join with them to say that Penelope Beckers is the one to lead the party. And I have a problem with we saying we support Stuart Young. So them alone can support who they want to support. We can support who we want to support. And not only that, in people supporting Minister Stuart Young, like he been victimized. So that's one love and that's one thing they say they want to lead. They don't invite the MP to nothing. He doesn't know nothing. He doesn't hear about it. That is showing respect. Is that showing respect to somebody who's supposed to be on a team? When you have your live or you make your comment on Facebook, whatever, they're cussing you. Or they call on your phone to try to tell you you shouldn't say that and you shouldn't say this and shouldn't say that. Why? We don't call nobody phone to tell them what they should say, what they shouldn't say. We don't make no life to cuss nobody. So how I want to engender in people confidence and a feeling of inclusion when only excluding. And I continue to say again, I understand there's a particular person had a view about the meeting they had in B-Town. I may have said to the effect that he didn't feel any fire coming from the opposition leader. And another individual who wanted to make his point to tell him, oh, her brother died and she come there and she went through and all that. We knew that her brother died. Some knew, some didn't know. I offer my condolences. But her not bringing fire had nothing to do with this incident. We have been saying that long before her brother died. So it's not a recent thing. So her brother dying had nothing to do with her not having any fire or not bringing steam. She just doesn't have it. We empathize with the fact that under those conditions, she's still able to come to a meeting. But that's not what we are speaking about. We are speaking about her political life. In Trinidad and Tobago, nobody tell you that she has ever been any active, any vibrant person. But all they want to force her on us and vex with us because we say no. We're not 20 down, It's 13, 9 seats we lost, And some who win the seat, barely win the seat, So you can't tell me it was somebody who just talking passive. That when you're probably in office and everything going back, but you're fighting the government and you're passive and only contending that because all you want to go up for local government election and who won this and who won that, that is all a business. But don't try to come down on nobody and try to force your views, and because we don't try to force your views on nobody. We don't call nobody phone to tell them what you're saying is not the right thing. We don't call nobody. We say everything and we live. We make we comment on Facebook. If we're so confident in the opposition leader, leave we alone. Let we talk because her skills and her competence will come through no matter what we say. Why all so concerned? And all concerned because all they know is the truth. Some all I talk to say that Stuart Young is the man to run things. All they know that. All they know that. But all I want to push Ms. Beckers on, she don't have it. And nothing is wrong with that. You have to know your limitations. Where they will come for me for talking the truth? Well, I prefer to talk the truth and do what is right and have people cuss me than be lying and doing the wrong thing and people smiling and grinning with me. Let me take the cuss now. Because I'm not telling no lies on nobody. We're not lying on anybody. So who want to make life and cuss me because I say Penelope Becker's weak? I never said she's not a nice woman. She cannot lead us PNM and she start off bad. She start off in deceit and continuing in deceit. So you cuss me for talking the truth, well, keep cussing me. Again, I said I prefer to get cussed for doing the right thing than for people to skin and grin at me and I feel there's my friend and it's to the wrong things. I don't want no friends, so all who cussing me, I never do them nothing. All who cussing me and had the words to say about me, I never do them nothing. If you ask them what Jennifer Frederick do them, they can't say nothing. I've never done them anything. I've always been respectful to them. I've always tried to help in any way I can. Never disrespected them. But then they continue to disrespect me because I stand in for the right thing. I support and Stuart Young. What is this fear of Stuart Young? He didn't win his seat. And he went by 200 votes or 260 something, but he went by 4,000 something votes. Where's the disrespect? If the opposition leader is competent and can handle his stories, she don't have no need to worry about Stuart Young. She will work with Stuart Young because he's a strong member of parliament. And he could bring strength along with Comembert, along with Gonzalez, along with Scotland, along with Romaine, along with Miss Camille Robinson-Regis, along with Hans, along with Burchell, and along with Gatsby Dolly. It's strength you have to look for now. But all they want people to settle for mediocrity. Because what? Or they could get something, or they want something. What is the sense? You're winning the battle and losing the war. So they're contented to see what they could get and support Penny than study the bigger picture that all their grandchildren, all their children, Indian people children, African people children, Syrian children, Chinese children, all our children could benefit in the long run, or they prefer UNC in office to get little scraps and not study the little ones. It's the little ones that I'm going to be talking about because them can't talk for themselves. If the opposition leader could not do it, I would have been right there, but as we seeing it. People on the life tell me if I'm lying. Now they tell me if I'm saying what I'm saying is not the truth. Tell me if I am lying on the opposition leader. If I am lying on her and nobody will agree with me, I will apologize in the morning. But nobody I talk to could tell you that Mrs. Penelope Beckers Robinson has ever been remarkable in anything. Nothing. Neither in a law practice, neither as a government minister, nothing. She's a nice lady. We all agree with that. Where the niceness going to get in this political war that we're in? It's nice to be nice, but there's something else behind that too. What is something else? And don't tell me she go surprise me. If you ain't surprised me in 60-something years now, what you go surprise me with now? So all they continue to sit down there and say, let me support you because it's looking bad. We talking about you and PNM linen and things. Light air, you know. Light air, because we didn't bring out nothing in the air. The people they're supposed to be talking to, Ms. Jennifer Baptiste Primus and Lee Hunt. Them who bring all the lele out in the road for people to hear, and it was all over. So all that, we can unsee what we see. Is all they start that and all they encourage that. So now it come around, or they can't take it. So where's all the plan? To keep on sidelining Dominic Romaine, keep on sidelining Madam Camille Robinson-Regis, keep on sidelining Stuart Young, and all the feel people will support all. The people who support and all is not enough to get all the back into government. All they understand that now. Or they happy with this little clique. The people who support Ms. Penelope Beckers cannot get the PNM back into office come 2030. All they tell me if I lie now, put it up and say, Jenny, you're lying. Again, I'm saying it. I prefer people to curse me for doing the right thing than to smile and grin with me for me to join to do the wrong thing. I'm not joining with no multitude to do what is wrong. I'm not doing it. I prefer to stand on my own and get cussed. It's not the first time, but I've always been vindicated by the Most High Jah. You know why? Because I stand on truth and honesty. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I've fallen short of the glory of God plenty times. But I'm not standing truth. I stand in honesty. Honesty. And you know, people like to ball their heart pure and their hand clean. Me could say that without no shame. My heart clean. My heart pure. Because what I do it from love and honesty and truth. Not because I want to hurt people. Not because I want what people have. Not because somebody tell me to do this or tell me to do that. So I'm saying again, or let's stop calling people phone to try to tell them what they're doing is wrong, whatever. All they know what they're doing is right, leave people alone. All they do, all they feel is right. But we're saying again, will it be worth it that all they get all the personal benefits in all the little corner while the rest are roam down? Or is it not better? Work together as one. Come with a formidable team. So that when 2030 come, we are forced to reckon with. And I say it again, and if I see the opposition leader with all disrespecting her, I will tell her, you're not ready, you're not able, you don't have that steam. Don't let people fool all over this quiet. And no, even if you're a quiet speaker, Mahatma Gandhi was a quiet speaker too, very mild and thing, whatever. But when he speak thousands listen. So you could be nice and quiet and somebody have to be able to command. I ask people, how do you think go? People tell me that they fall asleep. That's it boring. Even when they're boring, great is the pain, I mean, they have no zeal in that. No time when they say great is the pain, I mean, feeling to put on your Gideon boots and start the thing one time. You want election, they come now, but you want to go out on the road and talk. When them talk in the meeting there, when your opposition leader talk, you're not feeling, so you're feeling to go and speak. You go and say, like we don't give up on. Tell me a lie. I want to tell your opposition leader, don't take chain of talk around them. It is alleged. Who might know better than me, they might say, so I say alleged, that there was a poll done before the election. And that poll showed that PNM has some work to do. I understand some people went and do a next poll, which showed that PNM go win. It is alleged that that is what was presented to Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. It is alleged. So there was a feeling PNM go win. But a poll was done showing you got work to do. So they didn't do the work. So I want to ask, this is my opinion, I ask, and my opinion. Was all these things deliberate? So I'm saying this to say, if the opposition leader feel that some who wrong she really supporting she, just how Stuart Richard Young, all of them was a wrong he, and he thought they was supporting he, and he come to see for himself what it was. I hope they know do so, don't like so. Jenny have a right to voice her opinion. Yes, it was boring. I heard also, well, it will not be last. I don't think it's last night, but Dr. Naim Gaspi would have said something when I heard it. When I heard it, yes, it kind of hurt me. So probably that's why the word is there. Freudian slip. It's in the subconscious. Saying something to the effect that she will bring back integrity to the Women's League. Integrity going to bring back. So what does they want to say about Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis, who is the chair, the former chair of the Women's League, is saying that she don't have no integrity, or she had no integrity? That is what you're saying? Wait, the space in the tea does make you talk loose? We just find them thing to say, girl. How you could disrespect Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis like to say you could bring back integrity to the Women's League? You ain't even say you go build on what the former lady vice chair would have done, and you're going to take it to there and there and there. You're going to bring back integrity. If you're going to bring back something, mean that you don't have it. So you saying you stood in that women's league on different platform with Camille Robinson Wages and knowing she has no integrity. And you did under she? That way what we to believe? Is that what you really say, Miss Lady? And these are the things we will continue to disrespect senior people in the PNM who was there before all you. Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley gave all the political relevance. The opposition leader said she was in the political wilderness. Mr. Manning put she there. Ask Mrs. Beckers Robinson why it is Mr. Manning had she in the political wilderness. Ask her. Ask her who took her out from that, who made her ambassador and sent her to the UN. Ask her. Ask Dr. Amory Brown who made him ambassador too. Ask them. And today, come now, man. So all they go vex with me for talking the truth. Well, then we in a bad way. Because I can't lie and be wrong all year. I don't want to be no liar wrong all year. So all they want to run this thing on the lie. So then all they know different than UNC. Then that's all they want to tell me. That this particular PNM ain't no different than UNC. This is the year 2025. The year of Jubilee. Wrongs will be set right and judgment, spiritual judgment I'm talking about will be swift. So if you don't line yourself in a particular order, and we see it happening, coming swift, fast and furious. Ask anybody of the spiritual faith. Me not big spiritual person, I just have a vibes. The stone that the builder refused, it could be a red stone, a white stone, a yellow stone, a blue stone, a brown stone, a black stone, a white stone, whatever stone. The builder refused. Because I tell people already, somebody from a tribe don't have to look like you. And sometimes it's people who are not of your ethnic group, who are part of your tribe and just stand with you. More genuine and with more love than some of them of your ethnic group. So the stone that the builder refused will become the chief cornerstone. And just like when Samuel went to God, said the people want a king. I put it my way. He said, when I'm ready, I will send a king. Samuel went back and tell them, they said, no, they want the king. Samuel go to God and say, yeah, what? Give them the king. And they get Saul. Saul was the biggest, baddest. He hung down the Christians, he tested all kind of thing, he do all kind of thing, all that false idol, all kind of thing. When the people start to meet sufferation, so they bawl. God didn't listen because only they want to wait on me, so deal with all their stories, they bawl. And when he was ready, he sent Saul. He said, Saul, not Saul. Samuel, go to, no, I'm telling this my way. Go to Jesse's house. And I want you to crown the king before him. He went to Jesse's house. Jesse brought out all his sons and them, strong and thing. And yeah, every head, Samuel poured the oil ain't coming out at all. The oil ain't coming out. Because Samuel telling himself again, it had to be one of them days. You know, because he's looking like that one and looking like that one. Now you look like that one. Nah, all of them line up. Because Jesse had plenty son, the oil ain't coming out at all. Samuel say, you have an next son? Jesse say, well, it have a little one day, he just there with the He's a little shepherd boy, always singing and quiet. He said, go and bring him. Little David come. Everybody watching because who is he? And the oil pour like water down David. When David got a little older, there was Goliath, this big giant that was massacring the people. Nobody could have beat him, killing out all them soldiers and everything. David said, you disrespecting my God, you insulting my God, you don't recognize my God. I go deal with you. He tells Saul, let me go and fight. So we'll take shield and things, and he put it on, no, I ain't want them thing. Everybody start to laugh, they hiding thing. David with his slingshot, he had the conviction of God in him. Take up a stone, put it inside his slingshot and let it go. Goliath drop. What do you think Goliath drop just with just a little stone? What do you think is just a little stone just so Goliath drop on the ground there? But the power of God was inspired, and the angels and them war angels and them take that stone and hit Goliath a spirit blow matter. I say all this to say, the stone, the builder refused to become the head cornerstone. So all your ball and all you want God solve, because we're suffering. We suffering, we hungry, we suffering. Dr. Rollins a bully, he brings to up your hungry. Or they go and vote. And who vote for Kamala because the code is yellow. When UNC win, everybody win. We went to that and UNC win. Hey. It had 3 months good yet. But 20,000 people on the breadline. 10,500 most vulnerable on them all. From CPEP, mothers, single mothers, fathers, single fathers. They make we believe it's CPEP, the contractors that pay the CPEP workers. It's CPEP that pay the CPEP workers. So they can continue paying the CPEP workers while they deal with the contracts. I understand it's CPEP that pay the CPEP workers. The contractors don't pay the salaries as CPEP workers, they pay the NIS and health surcharge. I understand. I could be wrong. So if that is true, they can continue. CPEP can continue paying the workers to continue working and cutting. If it's how the place looking now, bush. You think grass again? No, bush all over the place. A general untidiness all over the place. So can those workers still be working today while CPEP pay them while they're sorting out the contractors? But all they wanted Saul, they wanted only one king, all they wanted only one Queen Kamala. All they couldn't wait, all they didn't want, nobody else. Take warning. So I'll go back and say again. The opposition leader, political leader, I don't know who full in she had. I don't know if it's because she finally realized she dreamed. She's the first woman opposition leader, the PNM, first political leader, the PNM, and if those are the titles she wanted, if it's about titles, I don't know. But she cannot seriously believe her style and her demeanor, her way of doing things could take this PNM back into office. She seriously can't believe that. And those around her can't seriously believe, but ostracizing Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis, Dominic Romain, Stuart Young, it will help all their cause. Because I want to tell all if I don't know if all that in a bubble, the support on the outside for Stuart Young is more than the support for the opposition leader and political leader inside. And that is not me because I like my member of parliament. Nothing to do with that. That is facts. So the more or less sidelining, the more they humiliate him, the more they humiliate Dominic Romain, the more they try to humiliate Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis, people watching all that and seeing all that and say they don't want no part of that. They don't want nothing all this selling. So I have to ask a question, is it all they come to mash up the PNM? or it's just an only own selfish personal gain, only on a joyride. So I want to ask you as I finish here tonight, sit in on a quiet corner, forget Jenny, forget loudmouth Jenny, forget what you want and forget all them things. And ask yourself, if you really love this country, if you really want to see better for the country and the children who coming up, if Mrs. Penelope Beckers Robinson, with how them be, even with how they behaving too, could take this PNM into government 2030. Ask on yourself that, and if only could say yes, she could, God help us. Yeah? If only said no, it a general council, it a this, it a party group, it a all that. Look at the constitution of PNM. Let me see all who here. I am not going to apologize for speaking the truth. I have nothing to apologize for. So on the Bounce Up Central, we have 223 people watching. I want to thank you all. Today is Friday. People, thank you so much. Mr. Rima Jones, 21215, Anon 001, Althea Julie, Mr. Gibson, Val all over, you know. Thanks for the support, Javal. You know, build my numbers, you know. Who again? We have Sandy, Point Commander Sharon, all say, listen, only name 8 Jones. I want to mispronounce it at all. The conversation here doesn't be easy, you know. They're good, you know. Kathleen 67289. Let me see who again. That's Terrence. Kathleen K. Who again? Hey. David. Teresa Joseph. I want to thank you all for coming and hang with me. I hope that you would have learned something or it put a thought or something resonated with you, because we're in a position now that is real talk. This ain't no time for no games and who like who and who could get this from who and all them kind of food. This is not the time for it. This is a time of serious reflection, because we have a serious political war. And this PNM, this particular PNM, this wanting PNM, you talk to any man on the street out there, they will one thing you hear over and over and over again. I haven't been all over Trinidad and Tobago, but social media make the place even smaller. They keep saying it. The opposition leader not ready. That is the words they're using. She's weak. She have no excitement, no passion. Everything flat. You don't feel the thing. You don't feel. You're just feeling fed up. They make you're unhappy with what you're seeing. They're not energizing. Those are the words that are being used. People are using those words. They mightn't say the word weak, but there are other words they're using that generally come back to the same damn thing. Hi, Deja. Laura, Joel, Nicola, Lucian, SJ, Tom. Tom, are you from Tobago? Diane, Elizabeth, Lisa, Alice, Julian, Leslie, Errol, Stephen, Jean, Listra, Angela, Karen, Jacinta, Crossboss, Diamond, Trini, Jewel, Verlene, Curtin, Denise, Lioness, Angela, Rodriguez Lacroix, Anne-Marie, Black Pearl, Jenny, Angela, Joanne, Winston, Esther, Herbert, Rosalind, Nika, Alan, Maria, Glennis, Joanne, Steve, Julian, Joycelyn, Bolty, Scholar, Fraser, Darren, Anna, Donna, Romelia, Rogers, Marcia, Janet, Cecilia, Beverly, Margaret, Florence, Joycelyn, E.A. Shorty, Adara, Marie, Figaro, Leonard, Ingrid, Sabero. Thank you all for always coming and stay locked on and tuning in. To me, today's Friday, people. Have a safe weekend. See you all on Monday. God's gonna come with something for something new. This little Jen, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny, if you want to get formal, Miss Jennifer Frederick. I have 70 people I'm seeing on the live. Thank you all so much for blessing me with your presence. He focused on serving his constituency, understand? Nika, that is what he's doing because he's the member of parliament for Participant North St. Anne's West. I see that Philip Alexander is holding meetings and all that. The residents of this constituency should know that he's not the member of parliament. He did not win the seat. He's a junior member. He's a junior minister in the Ministry of Housing. He's not a member of parliament. He's in the Senate. He's a government senator. So he's just fronting the same way because a member of parliament at the end of the day, not no government senator. Yeah? He didn't win the seat in Participant North St. Anne's West. Hi, Roslyn. So again, I want to tell you all, we on serious time. So you see all who want to be cussing people, calling people to tell them who they should support and not support and stuff, they're not serious. They're not serious about Trinidad and Tobago. They're not serious about the children and the children. They're not serious. They're on personal gain. They're not serious. Like the business that they want to be so that is them. This is serious talk and thing. Leave people alone because the person always supporting Mrs. Penelope Beckers. I will say it again. If although I'm not saying that she's physically weak or anything, but she's weak in her whole demeanor. She has a low energy. I remember I went to Bali's house and meet up some I won't call the names. Some people, I went to drop in some application forms, registration forms to some people. And they're telling me she energy weak. This her energy, she was there. She was just the opposition leader at the time. She was there and things like that. And they're saying she energy weak. Just you're not feeling anything. It's like a block. You ain't feeling, you see Dr. Rollins, it's church, you might even see Keith Scott, you might even see Marvin Gonzalez, you might even see him, but there's nothing, just this. And you can't tell me this is a new leadership style. Listen, stop fooling people, this shopping is what you're quiet. That comes with a commanding presence. Somebody could be very quiet, but when they come in a room, they command. They respect people. And they just sit down there and say nothing, and people feeling that. You don't feel it with you, so we 13 man, So all who want to stick up under here and fool you to tell you that you could run things, or they will run things to the ground. All patriots. I'm talking about patriots now, Sit down and think about this thing, and decide where they want this thing to go. People, I love you all. See you all on Monday. God's care. I go on.